You are listening to the daily homily for Magdala in the Holy Land.
Someone in the crowd said to Jesus, "Teacher, tell my brother to share the inheritance with me." He replied to him, "Friend, who appointed me as your judge and arbitrator?" Then he said to the crowd, "Take care to guard against all greed, for though one may be rich, one's life does not consist of possessions." Then he told them a parable. There was a rich man whose land produced a bountiful harvest. He asked himself, "What shall I do? For I do not have space to store my harvest." And he said, "This is what I shall do. I shall tear down my barns and build larger ones. Then I shall store all my grain and other goods, and I shall say to myself, 'Now, as for you, you have so many good things stored up for many years. Rest, eat, drink, be merry.' But God said to him, 'You fool, this night your life will be demanded of you, and the things you have prepared, to whom will they belong? Thus will it be for the man who stores up treasure for himself, but is not rich in what matters to God.'" The Gospel of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
The vice of greed. Take care to guard against all greed. And there are different reasons why we might be greedy. Maybe it's a sense of security to have things that we can rely on. An IRS account, a retirement account, investments in companies, and other treasure that's disposable if I need it for the rainy day. And I would say that, first of all, there is a vocation to provide that for family, for friends, for oneself, not to be a burden on others. But then there's the vision of the greed for indulgence. And here we have this man in this situation, that he is rich and he is projecting a vision for his life of pure indulgence, enough resources to enjoy everything he can. And then there could be another reason, and it could be because of attachments or vanity. Like a family I knew, a young man told me, who was actually desiring to become a priest. It was not his vocation, but that was the moment of his life he was discerning. And he told me about his cousins, that he never knew them because of the parents. His mother's family had a big falling out. And it was because of the armchair of the grandmother. And some siblings wanted to have that in their home. And just because of this, they had a terrible battle. And because of this, they didn't talk to each other. And because of this, their children didn't talk to each other, and the cousins never got to know each other. And one would ponder how that attachment, that greed to have something physical in my possession, under my control, becomes such a dominating reality in the way I see things and people, and especially my own siblings. It's really sad. The damage, greed may seem to be a fulfillment of a desire I have, but at the end, greed turns out being the destruction of the relationships Providence has blessed me to enjoy, the company of siblings. Now, as I get a bit older, I really appreciate more and more my siblings. Always did, but what a treasure. And what a disaster when siblings can't talk to each other, and particularly if it happens over such a trivial thing. Okay, it's not trivial, the grand chair of my grandmother, the armchair of my grandmother. It could also be over watering rights for cattle. It could be over dividing up a company, real estate that the family owns, things that aren't easy to divide because they have to continue being viable, and yet they could be made not viable if they're divided in the wrong way. So it's not easy, okay? But all of that is a test. When, let's say you do have a family that has some serious real estate, and if they break it up, it's going to ruin the prosperity of that business or that farm or whatever it is. So how do we work these things out? This is a big challenge for us as human beings. And this is where we grow, by saying, I will put first the relationship with my siblings, and in second or third or fourth place, the armchair for my grandmother. There are lots of complicated considerations. If a company is being inherited, a small company, a bigger company, and it's broken up, then all the employees lose their jobs because the company becomes a failure. So how do you deal with that? And maybe I'm being simplistic in these things, but here we have Abraham. He knew that God would fulfill his promise. And it was in this faith that he went forward. What do we need to go forward in life? Do we need to hold on to material things? How long can we hold them? Maybe the economy changes and what now I have counted as a treasure loses its value. And even a retirement account, even government bonds, even investments, what can hold up in an economy that is always fragile? They talk about the gold standard, the gold, it's a great investment, a stable investment. And just talking about these things, it just shows where our soul is, where our mind is. And we see Abraham leaving all his home and his things, and he comes to follow God's call. And also we see here the value of the vocation to religious life for those who leave that dominion over things. But then religious people could also become very comfortable in the surroundings that a community can build up over time, so that we don't become dependent and don't throw ourselves into the total enjoyment, but understand the purpose of things which are to lead us to God and to serve others. And I heard a beautiful commentary this morning on the scriptures today, that God honors his promises. And he told us that whatever we give to others in love will be returned to us 100-fold. So what's the best investment? To give what we have to others, to give our life, our time, our goods, to live for the others. This is all about relationship building. Blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel. He has come to his people. He has come to be among us, to give us that relationship with him, so our relationships with all around us can be healed and strengthened and flourish and become truly fulfilling and forever.
Thank you for joining us today. If you want to learn more about Magdala, follow us on YouTube and on Facebook.